What's going on, Hustle Nation? It's been a long weekend. Everything seems to be on fire in the crypto, in the DAO markets right now. So is it time to jump ship and sell any remaining HEC tokens you have? Is it worth it to invest in HEC now that it's fallen below the backing price? Are we seeing the signs of a long bear market ahead of us? Just so you know, I'm not gonna beat around the bush and make everything sound rosy. If you want that, you guys are gonna have to go to another channel. You know, on this channel, we keep it real. So I promise to give you guys all the information you need to make the best decisions you can for the research about what investments you're gonna go into. Now, we've got a lot to cover, Hustle Nation, so let's get into what's going on right now. If you're thinking about investing in Hector DAO or already are invested, make sure you watch the entire video and subscribe to the channel, guys, because just like I promised in the last video, we've got a Hector DAO playlist and I'm going to be keeping you guys up to date on everything going on with Hector. Here's a little layout of what I'll be covering in this video. I'm going to talk about the bad and the ugly of everything going on with Hector, and then we're going to get into why you might not want to jump ship on the project and why it may still succeed despite the dumpster fire occurring in the crypto market right now. I also want to hear your commentary. I read all your guys' comments and try to respond. So make sure to leave a comment down below, guys. Let's chat it up down there in the comment box because I want to know your guys' thoughts and your insights on everything crypto, DeFi, and of course, Hector. First up, let's cover how the protocol reacts to the markets. Now, this has been a nasty week for crypto and by default, for Hector. Now, since the last video we posted on December 9th, the lowest price HEC reached was $95. As of December 15th, we saw the price hit $70 and drop below the backing per HEC. Now, over the last 2 weeks, everyone in the HEC Discord and Reddit groups had been talking about the what if in terms of HEC hitting its backing price and what would the protocol be after that and how would that ripple? Well, here we are. These DAOs are so new, they're experimental, guys. Now, despite the protocol's best written white papers, the PR teams, and everything else, no one can truly predict what would occur when a token hits its backing price, and for this example, Hector specifically. But rather than speculate, let's see how the white papers describe the price volatility that the team had anticipated would eventually come, and how the protocol will react to the bearish market. So we see that the price of HEC is going to be more volatile at first. In periods of high demand, the protocol will be able to create higher staking rewards by selling more bonds. This in turn will bring in more investors seeking wealth creation, which increases demand further. This will create a feedback loop leading to the expansion of the DAO and an increasing HEC price. Expansionary periods also allow the DAO to increase the liquidity held in its reserves. In periods of low demand, staking and bonding rewards will also fall. This is a natural part of price action. Nobody in the cryptocurrency space is a stranger to falling prices. When prices fall far enough, the protocol will use its reserves to buy HEC and stabilize it. Given that this reserves and intervention is a certainty, risk falls as the price falls since buying volume is anticipated. Now, some good news though is voting for HIP 008 buyback and burn has now concluded with a total votes cast of 95,350, with 97.42% of people voting for the proposal. So as of now, the resulting action is that the buyback and burn program will begin. Now, as this process develops and the team makes some new announcements, I'm going to go into further detail how this buyback and burn is actually going to work. Also, if you're on Discord, make sure to jump over and join the Money Growth Academy Discord, guys. I've got the link down below. We're there daily with the community, chatting it up and sharing info, so do not miss out. So why is the market price of HEC so volatile? When answering this question, the HEC team said it's extremely important to understand how early in development the Hector DAO protocol is. A large amount of discussion has centered around the current price and expected a stable value moving forward. The reality is that these characteristics are not yet determined. The network is currently tuned for expansion of HEC supply, which when paired with the staking, bonding, and yield mechanics of Hector DAO result in a fair amount of volatility. Now, HEC could trade at a very high price because the market is ready to pay a hefty premium to capture a percentage of the current market capitalization. However, the price of HEC could also drop to a large degree if the market sentiment turns bearish. We would expect significant price volatility during our growth phase, so please do your own research whether this project suits your goals. So there you have it. If you're looking for a stable project, this is not the one necessarily. If you're looking for a project to quickly pump and make some coin on the side, this is not going to be the one. The nature of this project is in its infancy, guys. Now, this project is for the person that has done their own research, and as a conclusion of their research, feels like the Hector team is legit along with the roadmap and is patient enough to see their investment incrementally grow over the next few months. Let's take a look at group psychology for stakers and bonders and how the Heck team explains this. We all know how people behave with a rising price floor, but how about during a bearish market like this where the prices are just falling and falling fast? Now, first let's look at investors looking to stake Heck during a falling cost basis. When investors stake their Heck tokens, they will receive compounding rewards, given that the protocol uses bond sales to create a rising floor price for Heck dictated by the backing per Heck token. Over the long term, price volatility is not a risk for stakers, since the cost basis will eventually fall below the backing price per Heck token. So what if you're looking to bond? How does that play out when prices are falling? Now, in periods of price reduction, bonding will be less profitable since the market price of Heck could fall below the initial price that a bonder purchases. Therefore, it's more profitable to buy from the market during dips. This in turn stabilizes prices and allows bond prices to readjust and offer discounts once more. Why hasn't Heck rebounded? There was a little good news on December 15th as the Feds held their second briefing and we saw Bitcoin spike a bit, but then we saw that trickle down hit some of the other markets as well. But while some markets were seeing a slightly positive change, Heck was still plunging down below its backing price. So why didn't Heck see a positive bump and what does this mean for us? Now, I think one of the elements that Heck currently struggles with is, at least at the moment, it's always going to lag behind the market because the complexity factor for newbies trying to figure out how to stake, and that creates an extremely large barrier to entry for new investors. Now, I want to know down in the comments, how many of you had an issue trying to stake or bond in Hector? Now, I'm hoping a lot of this gets cleared up, and once we get to the positives, we'll kind of talk about how this is landing on some new markets, so that should be getting resolved here soon with time. All right, enough of the negative news. Let's get into some positive news of why I believe Hector DAO could succeed. Now, we saw a decent spike on December 15th after the Fed press conference in which they outlined their plan to speed up tapering of its bond purchases, as well as adding in 3 hikes of the benchmark interest rate for 2022. Now, the Feds are planning on doubling the pace of tapering its monthly bond purchases, reducing them by $30 billion every month until they're completely wound down early next year. Now, the original plan was to taper by only $15 billion a month, so as they just mentioned, it's now doubled. Now, Bitcoin jumped from a low of around 47,000 and throughout the day trended around 49,000, almost breaking that psychologically important $50,000 mark that we'd love to see. But way off that $70,000 mark it hit back in November. Ether also rose by about 3.6% after the news had broke about the Feds. Just as a side note, even though Bitcoin fell off from the $70,000 mark, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin. What happened, in my opinion, was very predictable if you were watching the markets. In the depths of COVID, we had a lot of liquidity that came flooding in from the younger demographics, emboldened by meme stocks out there, dumping stimulus money into the crypto world. Now, that catalyst has now dried up, so we're going to see slower, more natural growth, I believe, over the next few months and over the next year. Another reason I remain bullish in cryptocurrencies is because we're seeing large adoption among older and very well-established investors. For example, Bank of America just released a report that bode very good news for Avalanche's AVAX token, which is an alternative to Ethereum. Bank of America said smart contract platform Avalanche's ability to scale while remaining secure and decentralized makes it a credible alternative to Ethereum for DeFi projects, NFTs, gaming, and other assets. Now, Deloitte's decision to use the Avalanche platform for its Close As You Go, or CAYG, disaster relief platform shows how corporations can leverage blockchain technology to increase efficiencies and reduce costs. AVAX Avalanche's native token is now the 12th largest by market value at $22.6 billion and has increased 2,869% this year. Bank of America said it expects corporate adoption of blockchain technology to hasten. So this is very good news coming from these very well established old markets that they're even taking an interest in what's going on in the crypto and DeFi world right now. All right, let's talk about the Surtec audit underway right now. A big positive signal for me is that Hector DAO is now officially undergoing its Surtec audit. Back on November 21st, the DAO team proposed a vote to allocate about $70,000 in order to conduct an audit. When I first heard about this audit back in November, I was really impressed because it signaled to me that this team was serious about what they were building. And with the crazy amount of crypto-related scams, this was a good way to show good faith in what they were asking investors to actually invest in. Now, on December 12th, Serdek and Hector announced that they've begun their audit of 12 contracts. And as of December 16th, it's 9% complete. So hopefully we'll see it completed by the end of December or possibly beginning of January. We're going to be tracking that, so don't worry. This is exactly the type of move they needed to make in order to boost confidence in the project among a lot of other new investors coming into the crypto world, especially for people wanting to get really serious about investing larger sums into the project. Now, I really think Hector DAO is the future of DAOs as a result of the team and the roadmap and their level of transparency. If I'm right, I believe Hector is the only one with a Serdek audit, and upon launch of the Hector Bank, they would be the only one with a live bank, making them very unique in the space and pioneers. Now, the level that this team is willing to go in order to create transparency is something we haven't seen from other DAOs, and I really think DAOs to come are going to be following an example that Hector DAO is setting right now. Now, once the audit scores are released, I'm going to share those with you immediately, so make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. All right, so should you buy HEC during the dip? In the last video, I had so many people asking the golden question. Should I still buy HEC? Is it a good time? And it seems like in the Discord group, every time HEC is either growing or dipping, people are freaking out asking if it's time to buy or sell. Now, to answer this question, let's just get straight to the FAQs and see how the founders answer this very exact question. Once HEC is staked, your balance will increase with the circulating supply, meaning even if you miss out on a lower price, your HEC balance will increase due to the staking protocol. Therefore, you'll be generating a staking income, reducing your risk even at a higher price. So for all of you out there with that FOMO about not getting in when it dropped into the 90s, 80s, or even the 70s most recently, you technically don't have to worry because your balance is going to increase with the staking protocol generating you a staking income, which in theory should limit your exposure no matter what higher price you bought in at, as long as it's not at the very top. Now, simply put, if you have reasons to believe in the project and its success, regardless of where you get in at, you're going to be able to make some kind of profit off of the staking. Now, of course, though, anything can happen, and at the end of the day, I'm not your financial advisor, so be very cautious and do your own homework, and don't risk any money that you cannot afford to lose. Let's get into the buzz of the week. If you watch my first video on HEC, you'll know that I use buzz as a metric for my criteria when investing in a project. Now, over the last week, the Discord group has seen major growth with around 26,161 members at the time of this recording, and still plenty of vibrant activity there. I'm also keeping an eye out on how others are talking about the project, and I noticed that Lunar Crush had actually ranked Hector DAO currently as the most influential Phantom project. So that was really good news for me, and it showed that there's some growth and some traction taking place. Now, it was also announced on December 15th that Phantom will now be listed on Binance.us. It was already listed on Binance, but this is Binance.us. So that should simplify some of the steps for US-based investors trying to get into Hector DAO. And I'm honestly surprised it took this long though, but it's a great move. Now the question is, when will Coinbase list Phantom? It seems well overdue, and I'm surprised Binance.us beat them to it. So Coinbase, if someone out there from your team is listening, get Hector DAO listed. In regards to the team metric I judge by, it's still looking really strong even while everything is burning right now in the market. For example, over the last month, every single week, team member Prometheus from Hector DAO has held a live AMA to address investors and their concerns. I don't know if there's another project out there with this much involvement from the team and at this caliber involvement. Guys, these AMAs on YouTube are between 1 hour to 2 hours and are very, very detailed, and they aren't afraid to answer the tough questions. Now, once again, this is a real positive signal that the team and their goals are legitimate. Hopefully we can get Prometheus on the channel here to talk about the project and answer some questions. If you had a chance to speak with the HEC team, what questions would you have? Leave a comment down below with your questions, and I'll see what I can do to get someone from the team actually onto the channel so we can hear from them. Now, I still see a ton of potential in this one. Now, of course, any number of things can happen over the next few hours, the next day, the next week, the month, but I think this is worth checking into and watching if you already aren't into Hector. I want to hear your thoughts though down in the comments. What are you guys thinking about Hector DAO? Chat it up with me. I want to know which way you're leaning, and then actually give me your top reasons why you're leaning that way. I love chatting it up with you guys, so I'm going to see you guys down in the comments, but make sure you subscribe to the channel and become an official part of the Hustle Nation family. See you guys in the next video.